All right, guys, if a Google search has brought you to this channel because of the CRF250 Rally, then welcome. And if you're coming back for another video, welcome as well. I appreciate you guys. I just picked this bike up a couple of weeks ago, needing a little bit of work from setting. It was a friend of mine's. This is a 2020 CRF250RL Rally, and I've been riding it for about 2 weeks. I picked it up with some issues to really just fix to resale, and I'm really enjoying it, man. It's smooth, it's a good bike so far, but I wanted to do a little review because a gentleman's really interested in buying it, and all I got left is to do an oil change on it. So I thought, hey, let's get it hot, ride it some, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it a little bit. As you guys know, if you're back here at the channel, I'm a big fan of Honda. This is actually the first Rally 250 Rally I've ever ridden, but I've had a chance to put it through its paces. I've put about 60 miles on it in all kinds of terrain, trails, crossing creeks, on the highway, and I'm pretty impressed with it. Now, it's just a 250, so it's not some wheelie riding powerhouse, but it does have decent power and it will ride a wheelie, but it's very smooth. Some people say it doesn't really keep up in traffic, but I mean, I've ran 70 miles an hour like nothing in it, so I don't agree with that. But yeah, man, I'm pretty impressed with the bike. It's got 2,500 miles on it, and like I said, I bought it because it's been sitting for a while. Let's do a little walk around here on it right quick, just so you guys will know about it. So this bike is pretty stock. It has a seat concept seat and that Zeta lowering link because I'm a little short. My buddy's a little not quite as tall as some people. He's probably over 6 foot, but he still lowered it down a little, get a little more comfortable on the rock. But the bike's in really good shape. It has these hand guards. I guess what I've really noticed about it for the most part is the suspension. Coming from a 35-year-old or 35-year-old bike on my old Suzuki DR, it has some of the best factory suspension you can get, but it's getting old and worn out. But it's it's like 17-way adjustable front and shock, and the rear shock's got preload and rebound and dampening and all that good stuff. But this bike out of the box, I'm not saying it's got the best aftermarket crazy suspension ever, but these inverted shocks here on this bike really do well on the front. I hit a couple of pretty rad jumps, and it just sucked it up really good. I mean, it's not terrible at all. It's a good suspension, does pretty good over the washboards, and I'm pretty happy with the bike, man. I had it all apart. I've never really worked on one a whole lot. Had all these fairings off, and I had to put a fuel pump in it and clean the tank from setting. But other than changing the oil, that's all I got left. The headlights do really good at night, especially on bright. I'm really impressed with that. I really like how the turn signals light up really bright. This display is really nice. You have the clock and fuel gauge, which is something that I've never had on a bike until I got my CT, and the mileage and stuff. And it's really cool that it has a tack. I love that. I mean, many dirt bikes come with a tack on them, so that's pretty cool. My old DR has an analog tack, but yeah, definitely if you get one, you want to replace that seat. A funny story is my buddy was riding it. We were way off in the woods and way back off of the beaten path, and he pulled over and got his phone out, and he was looking. He's like, I got service, give me just a minute. And I'm like, what you doing? He said, I'm ordering me a new seat. So these seat concepts it's an Idaho company, and man, it really, you go from needing to get off at 30 miles to doing 150 miles with no pain. So kind of got to get used to them. They're a little hard, but it's super nice. But anyway, back to the bike. It's still got the factory tires on it. Not the best tire in the world, but it gets by. And but yeah, I mean, other than the seat and this rear rack and that lowering link, the bike's just how it comes from Honda. And if you want a good starter dual sport that'll get you wherever you need to go, it's not miserable on the highway. I'm pretty impressed with it, man. It's this one I think has factory gearing, And like I said, it'll run 65 or 70 and no problem. I mean, I'm not saying it'll do that straight up a big mountain grade. It has to rev up, so you may have to gear it down some, but you could probably drop that front sprocket one tooth and really take advantage of the power band of the engine. Maybe get some aftermarket exhaust and maybe a power programmer or something, and really help it if it's power you're after. But if you just want to ride and see the sights, I got no complaints about this bike, man. It's lightweight, nimble, seems to get really good fuel mileage. It runs really well without a hitch. It's easy to maintain. It's easy to get in there to the air box. Not a terrible bike, you know. Just a quick video. I just wanted, before I got rid of it, to go over it in case you guys were ever thinking about getting one. Now, if you buy this bike new now, it's going to be a 300. And a lot of people say, well, why wouldn't I just go ahead and get the 300? The 300 is fine. It's a little heavier, not too much, but and a little more power. But hey, if you find one of these for a decent price, don't kick it to the curb, because it's not a terrible bike at all. I'm really impressed with it, especially after riding the old 350 forever. It's all the ergonomics of it, I guess. The controls are nice. It's easy to pull the clutch in. It's smooth out on the road. It's just a newer, refined bike than what I'm used to riding, but I'm happy with it. So, off to a new home after an oil change. And yeah, pretty decent review for this bike after riding it 60 miles. I mean, sure, somebody that's ridden one 2 years could give you a heck of a lot better review. But just an initial riding it in all sorts of terrain, pretty impressed with it, guys. All right, that's about all I got. So here's a good view of the bike. Like I said, this is a 2020. Radiator cap there. CRF250RL. Pretty decent sized foot pegs from the factory, which is pretty cool. You never get that on an older bike, do you? Nice lightweight frame, good brakes. Very smooth, very balanced, handles the turns really well, the curves. Just hard to beat, man, just for a small bike. And like I said, the main complaint is it's pretty anemic, but if you let this bike rev, good to me. I mean, you know, I've been riding something with 8 horsepower, but it's a 250, so it's got to rev up. But I mean, it can keep up with cars on the highway, no problem. Good little smooth power band, just sort of linear and nothing crazy. But hey, if you want to get out on the trails and see the sights and ride the pavement to get to the trail, this is not a bad bike. I picked this one up for a really good price and got it running. It was an easy fix. I had to get a fuel pump from Honda, which is just a unit that bolts into the bottom of the tank, so that's not bad. And it came with the sending unit, so the gauge is working now. And let vinegar sit in the white vinegar sit in the tank for about 72 hours. Rinse that out really good with soap and water, and then some solvent, and then put some fresh fuel in it. It's really doing good. I put the injector was fine. It had a decent spray pattern, but I put it in the sonic cleaner anyway in some Pine Sol. Let it get good and hot, and actually ran some solvent through it with it energized with a little tester that I have, and it's good. Made sure it was all topped off with fluids. Like I said, all we got left now is an oil change. So off to a new home, and I'm pretty pleased with this bike. All right, guys, make sure you come back for the next one. I appreciate you. And if you have any questions, drop them down below there, and let's get out on the trail and see what we can find.